Night operations in full swing. The crew and Cassie have a recovery in progress. PO3 Henson, behind the lighted plexiglass status board, stood writing with a grease pencil the fuel state of the A6 tankers. This flight cycle nearing completion, I have 2 aircraft on final approach. As I hand the last aircraft in the recovery over to the LSO, the ship's klaxon horn begins its loud warning, and the voice following warns all to man your battle stations. We were used to this in the form of the occasional drills the ship practices for the real thing. Was this the real thing? Different spaces on the ship were divided up among the many divisions of personnel to be maintained. When the ship is at battle stations, hatches leading to those spaces must be secured to create a watertight integrity the ship must maintain at this elevated security risk. Already at our assigned place, Cassie, we still needed personnel to secure the assigned spaces. P.O. Henson, coming out from behind the status board, was directed by Senior Chief to head up to the island's radar dome to ensure hatches were secure. Assigned this duty before he knew it involved climbing an external ladder to get to the space. Within 15 minutes, the operations officer walks into our control room saying we were under battle stations because a Russian submarine had surfaced, crossing perpendicularly for a moment in front of the ship's heading. These maneuvers weren't common, but did occasionally happen. The Russian Navy pulled tricks such as this to let us know they were monitoring us. The Forstall's immediate response, rightfully so, was to prepare for battle if it needed to respond. Petty Officer Henson returned, visibly stunned, slack-jawed, if not completely goggle-eyed. Grabbing the first seat available, as if his energy was spent, he appeared more confused than tired. Senior Chief approached, got Henson some water, and waited. A couple minutes later, Henson recounted, heading up to secure the hatch underneath the radar sight. Halfway up the ladder, I noticed the blanket of stars overhead was bright. No sign of the moon. Reached the top, secured the hatch, and started down. It was off the starboard side of the fantail. What, Henson? What the hell is this it? Senior Chief demanded. I don't know, Senior. I just don't know. At first, there was a bright light of some sort under the surface. I stopped midway, down the ladder, watching it. The light broke the surface and shot up into the sky like a rocket until it was out of sight, without a sound. Senior Chief sat back in his chair, eyes drilled into Henson. Now is not the time for this bullshit. The operations officer, hearing the account, told Senior Chief and Henson to come with him as they left Cassie. All within earshot, me included, were dumbfounded. I turned to Pete, sitting next to me. Henson is not a bullshitter, typically point on. He saw something. The 1MC announced, secure from battle stations. Immediately, Pete and I left in the direction of Henson and his interrogators. Through operations, we headed toward the ops officer's office. Normally open, the door was closed. I slowed, listened, and heard Henson being questioned. Couldn't just stand there, so we kept going. Now speculation set in. Russian sub, battle stations, a friggin' UFO. Were they connected? Had that submarine crossed in front of our ship chasing who knows what? We had only questions. Pete and I headed down to berthing, deciding to wait there for Henson. He never showed up. I went to my rack and tried to sleep, but couldn't. Next morning at the breakfast table, the third cup of caffeine has my eyelids at attention when Pete's bloodshot eyes sit across and cry out, Henson's gone. Rack's cleared out. No fucking way. In Senior Chief's office, we ask in unison, where's Henson, Senior? Senior looked as if he had last slept 2 weeks ago. Henson departed on the carrier supply aircraft this morning. He's on medical leave. I can't believe this. It's what he saw, isn't it? I argued. Harper, calm down. Ops officer believes he needs some R&R. That's all. Right. Guy did what he's supposed to do. Tells the senior what he sees and he gets shit canned. For God's sake, he just re-enlisted, I posed. You two saddle up. We commence operations in 15. Senior Chief stopped all discussions. Pete and I found out Henson wasn't the only Forrestal sailor needing some so-called R&R. 3 sailors total departed the ship while at sea that morning. Had they suddenly needed R&R after seeing what Henson observed? We were left with only questions and speculation. Lesson learned by those in Catsy that night: anyone witnessing a mermaid off the brow getting humped by some alien, keep it to yourself.